Welcome to Shorty's SuperCoach. How's it going, guys? Fair to say Shorty's not exactly a picture of health today, or basically all week, really. One of the fellas on the Sydney trip was a little bit sick for the last day or so, and I reckon I may have picked that one up. I've been cooked for most of the week, but just, man, I don't know if you tuned into my live session. I was bloody muting the thing to blow my nose. It was kind of embarrassing, but now the cough today. So I was trying to do my tax over Microsoft Teams before I'm muting the thing, coughing and spluttering and unmuting it. Oh, it's a disaster, mate. But so we'll see how we go today. Big night of sport tonight, though. You got the Ashes, you got footy, you got Wimbledon. If you're a Tour de France sort of person, then you got that. But yeah, so we've got all bases covered. I feel like you've got to watch the first part of the cricket. Definitely tune into Wimbledon. And it's a pretty decent game of footy too. So I don't really know where my remote is going to land, but it's a good one ahead. So we'll take a look at the teams in a sec. And of course, I've got all your questions from the live sesh, which I can't remember. That's why I noted it down. But definitely surrounded a bit of Fyfe chat. Oliver is out for multiple weeks now. And a lot of talk between Butters, Libber, Track, and just those three, really, but sort of comparing them. So forgive me if there is a bit of coughing and whatnot throughout the video, but of course, I did promise you part 2 of Shorty's Sydney trip, discussing Saturday and Sunday. So let's get stuck into that now while I take a... oh, geez. Don't know what that's all about, but... so Saturday, yeah, obviously... woke up relatively well on Saturday because we didn't go out Friday night, and we thought that'd be a good opportunity to go to Manly on the ferry because we sort of thought, wow, going on a ferry that is potentially a little rocky and bumpy, maybe not the best idea when the boys are hungover. So jumped on the ferry, went over to Manly, and it was actually pretty nice, actually. Yeah, nice to do a few of those like touristy type of things. So yeah, it was actually pretty cool. We just walked around, got a bit of sightseeing, had some lunch, and just chilled out. And yeah, we didn't do too much, to be fair. We walked along the beach, there's a bit of beach volleyball going on, and just walked around, got a coffee. We pretty much just chilled out. We stopped in at a pub, had a drink, watched a bit of footy, cheeky little margarita. So yeah, it was actually nice to just take it pretty chill, take it pretty easy, because sometimes holidays can just get pretty busy. You're always doing stuff and that. So it was actually nice to just have a real chill one, because we knew Saturday was going to be a big night, and then Sunday recovery was probably going to test us. So, but Saturday night was good. I definitely preferred Thursday. The nightclub we went to was probably not my absolute vibe. Just the tunes, not as many lyrics as Shorty would like, where Thursday night was absolutely pumping, right in my wheelhouse. But yeah, played some good drinking games on Saturday night too. A couple of new ones, which doesn't often happen. But I guess when you hang out with different mates, play a few different games, and I'll definitely be taking a few of those back into Shorty's repertoire for my drinking sessions. So that should be a bit of fun. But yeah, probably ended up getting home maybe around 3 or so. There was no TikTok live this time around because I did get home. One of the fellas, he was too sick. He didn't even end up going out, which was a real pity. But he was pretty crook. So I must have been... I think I was the next one home because I lost the guys in the club, and I was having a good time, but not enough of a time to be like I'm gonna hang around. I was talking to this 20-year-old girl from Texas, and I was just like fell in love pretty much, and then we're having a good chat actually, great little chat. She was lovely. Then the friend came over. Oh, we're leaving. And I was like, jeez, that's all right. We'll have the wedding another time. So that was disappointing. This is going to be a real issue, me coughing here. But so yeah, walked home, and I was like, I'll walk all the way home. Like, it was only a 5-minute walk. I'll grab a kebab because there's a kebab shop just 10, 20 metres down the road from where we're staying. I literally get there, the lights are on, but they're sweeping and stuff. I'm like, oh, boys, do you have one more kebab in you? They're like, nah, sorry, mate. I'm like, oh, you're kidding me. Because I didn't really know where else anything was. I'm like, well, where else can I get some? They're like, oh, if you go up this street, turn left, whatever. I was like, okay. So I go up there, find another kebab joint. I'm like, fantastic, how good's this? But then, 2 doors down, KFC. I'm like, oh, this is absolutely fantastic. KFC, baby. You don't get that in Geelong. It used to be a KFC in town, but there's not anymore. So absolutely beautiful to end the night with KFC. It was a fucking dream. So that worked out very nicely. Oh, jeez. This cold is fucking killing me. And then Sunday was absolutely brutal because obviously we had checkout like 10 o'clock. So my mate Brad about 9:15. Boys, we got to get up. And I was like, oh, that was pain. That was painful. Like, and our flight wasn't until 9:15 or something. So we knew we had a big day ahead of us as well. Like, it'd be different if I was just get up, get on the plane like midday or something. You're sort of home by 2 or 3, just chill out on your couch in your bed. Nah, we had a big day ahead of us, which, look, I was sort of dreading a little bit, but it turned out to be all right because we went to Bondi. Bondi is sick. Like, so many nice places, nice views, and like, it was a pretty cold day. So imagine it on like a pumping summer day. It'd be amazing. So that was really cool, actually, to just, like, we were struggling, but I was like, this is actually real nice. So that killed a bit of time, and then we probably got back. We just waited at our hostel, just like, obviously we checked out, but we could still wait because we left our bags there. We just waited on the couches. I reckon we got back about 4:30. So it was a long hour and a half, 2 hours. Just, I was editing some TikToks. I was watching some of the footy, just chilling. Some of the boys were sleeping, but we were really playing out time. That was tough because when you got just dead time to deal with, you're like, oh God, I just want to be home now, you know? So it took a bit of time, but we got there, got on the plane. Everything ran well. I was like, if this gets delayed, mate, I'm dead here. But yeah, ran smoothly, got home, no worries. Straight in the cricket, mate. Perfect timing. Watched a fantastic Aussies victory. So maybe I'm paying for it now because I haven't really had a good sleep since, but actually, I can't remember. I reckon I haven't had a good sleep since maybe last week, but shit. Anyway, we'll see how we go. I won't get one tonight because we'll be watching sport all bloody night, but see how we go. So let's take a look at these teams. I'll do my best to just get through this video, try and upload it, and then give your voice a bit of a rest, I think. Okay, so these teams, as I always say, just no carnage, please, and we'll be right. I want to trade Briggs to Butters. Of course, Dunkley is out, and I'm still waiting on Sicily, so I've only got the 20 premiums, but a full team in theory. Butters is my final upgrade, and I have 2 trades remaining, so relatively happy with that. Obviously, we saw these teams last night. Nothing too much. Obviously, DeGoey might help some people there. Dunkley, we knew. Hopefully, that's just 1 week. Wow, Shannon Hearn out injured. So there you go. Played awesome. I was feeling myself. I told you about Hearn a few weeks ago, and he returned fantastically. And I thought, sure, he's a bit of a wizard, but clearly that concern on the injury, which a few of you outlined, was always a bit of a worry, but that hurts. So, yeah, like I said, hopefully Dunkley is only a 1 weeker. But we'll see. Whitfield back helps my draft team. Nothing too crazy so far. Tuke Miller back also helps my draft team, and that one could certainly help you guys out if you need a bit of an upgrade in a week or two, because obviously his last score was about a 40, very much injury impacted. Jack Billings returned. That's unusual. Taj by Woden. He's back in business. And of course, the Fyfe one will hurt a lot of people, and we'll talk about that soon. No Jeremy Cameron back, so that will also frustrate a couple of people. Will Phillips just, I don't know what he's got to do to get consistent games. A few Cats defenders out there, and Isaac Smith managed. So that's interesting. But I'll talk a few points in terms of Skipper and Vice at first. I think I'm just going to go Bontempelli tomorrow night. You got a plethora of VC options. You got Goulden and Taranto tonight. Always a chance for 140, as much as I hate it when Errol goes nuts. And then you got Bontempelli or Libba, Nick Dacos tomorrow night. So I feel like Bontempelli is almost due for a big one. He's been good without being great. Collingwood don't really tag super hard. So, yeah, I feel like I can definitely go the Bontempelli VC there. In terms of captain, probably going to go Laird or Dawson. Do the Bombers tag much? I feel like Setterfield has at times. I feel like they have random-ass taggers doing it at times. Maybe someone can help me out in the comments there. But I feel like one of those Adelaide boys would definitely be a pretty safe option for your C. Now, some of your talking points from the other night. Lockie Fogarty, David Cunningham. Obviously, we don't know too much about what their job security is. And I'd love to tell you, but I've got no idea. So their job security is dependent on how they play. They played well last week, so it locks them in for the foreseeable future. But having said that, it would only take 1 or 2 not so good weeks for them to be shafted, because it's a sort of role where it's a tough role to score in. Small forward. Both did nicely, but I think you're really looking for 4 to 6 tackles, a goal or 2, 12 to 18 touches. But there will be times when these blokes have like 8, 9 touches, 1 tackle, kick a couple of points and score 40s and 50s. So I don't love them as selections. Ryan Marich as well at 140. The West Coast mid-season bloke. His job security is probably better than some of these guys. And he's a bit cheaper, but clearly his scoring potential isn't as good because these guys have bumped out some 90s just last week. Marich hasn't been able to do that. So I feel like these fellas both are known for being solid tacklers, particularly Fogarty. Being a former Cat, they used to rave about his pressure, and Carlton needs more pressuring forwards. They haven't had that too much in the start of the year. So if Carlton keep playing well and they keep applying this sort of forward pressure, then they could be a great option moving forward. But very hard to judge their job security. What to do with Fyfe? Again, it's super tough. I mean, I think your options are you either find someone to upgrade to, the likes of, depending where you need to put your funds, whether that's Callum Mills or Cornelio's. I know he's not flying, but he's 500k. Ben Key's another option. You know, Darcy Cameron, I know he's poor last week, but these are guys who can score well, who are somewhat cheap. You can try and find your way to work up to those type of guys. But if you don't have the cash to do that, then I think your other option is to just kind of jump on the Sheldrick train 3 or 4 stops in. You know, you've missed the first station, but he is still going to go up quite a bit in price. So, again, it might just depend on how many trades you've got, but the play could be if you can't quite reach a premium from Fyfe, or you don't have the cash to do that, jump on the Sheldrick train, ride that for 2 or 3 more stops, maybe 4, you get up to 450, who knows, give or take, and then you make that exchange for a premium at a hell of a lot less value. Exchange rate, like you clearly got to use 2 trades to do that. Not all of us may have that luxury, but it is something to keep in mind because he has a really nice break even and playing a nice role. Like, he's in and under, no Chad Warner, like definitely showing some real good signs of not just right now, but he looks like a SuperCoach guy, like for years down the track too. But yeah, Fyfe, his selection has just been an absolute disaster for us, absolute shocker. Kieran Briggs, he's done well for us, he's been good. You could take or leave it. So you could keep him or you could trade him. For me, it just works better for me to trade him. I've preferenced Marshall over Briggs. Reason being is Marshall is more than capable and seasoned to be the number 1 ruck. Where Briggs, there's always half a chance that he could be rested, helped out with the ruck, because he's only been a number 1 main guy ruck for a couple of months. So there is more of a chance that he might need some support or he gets a bit tired because he hasn't done as much before. That's not to say he couldn't continue to dominate, but that's the reason that I've trusted Marshall over Briggs. Oliver has been a disaster, an absolute disaster. Now, I said a couple of weeks ago, probably time to trade him because we just can't trust where he's at. And now, I haven't seen it absolutely confirmed, but Lang has messaged me before saying he's out for 3 or 4. So that's a disaster. So it's time to trade. It's been a shocker. It does mean Petrarca goes up in a lot of value as far as I'm concerned. I was worried that Petrarca might play a little bit more forward when Oliver returns, just with Melbourne's woes, kicking scores and converting those opportunities. And it was trialled a little bit. I think it was maybe against Port. Petrarca played a little bit forward many, many weeks ago. So, yeah, disappointing. A few of you would have been holding Oliver. It's been a nightmare. A few of you would have been thinking he could be my final midfield upgrade. It's been a nightmare. So, he's got to go. Bit of a disaster. Clay's been so good to us for so many years, but these last few weeks, absolute SuperCoach nightmare. Libba, Petrarca, Butters. Talked about this a fair bit on the live sesh. I think Butters offers some great value in terms of being a mid-forward. And I think he's such a capable scorer, being around that 110 mark. You have to respect Liberatore's year. I would probably put Petrarca on top now. I did put Libba on top during the week because I thought Oliver would be back. But now that he's out for an extended period of time, and realistically, who knows when he's back, I think I would go Petrarca ahead of Libba. Libba probably provides you a little bit more point of difference, but I think you win them both ways. They're both going to dominate. If you need a bit of dual position, then I like Butters. And that's not to undersell Butters. He's a Brownlow favourite. Could take the whole thing out. Scoring beautifully. Quite a few weeks. But you know a big one's just around the corner. So all three are great options. It just depends. Do you want a bit more point of difference? Libba's your guy. Do you want Petrarca? Because we know he's done it time and time again. No Clayton Oliver. He's leading that midfield. Or do you want Butters? Bit of dual position. Feel like you do need him in the forward line. He is a top 2 or 3 forward, so he's got great value, particularly as a forward. Where Libba, Petrarca, where would they sit in the top mids? 4th, 5th, 7th, 3rd? I don't know, but I wouldn't have thought they're in the top 3 or 4. But, you know, the season average may say different, but I do think they're probably more your 4, 5, 6 type, where Butters is a top 2 arguable forward. So just something to think about. Depends what suits your side best. And like I said before, Callum Mills, great buy-in option. Great option for that price. Should average 3 figures for the rest of the year. You're getting him in around 400k. So I'm going to wrap it up there because the voice is struggling, to be fair. I hope you have a good week. I hope you enjoy the cricket tonight if you're watching on. Footy, tennis, whatever is your flavour. Have a good night. It's a great night to be in front of the TV as a sports fan. So I'm probably not going to get a good night's sleep, am I? But we'll see how we go. All right. Have a good weekend, guys. I'll talk to you all soon. Cheers.